Hello, family. Welcome to another Monday. Have an exciting guest today, and I'm looking forward to having this great conversation with my guest. And so here we go. Just a few little items first going forward. This week, something exciting is happening. I am coming out starting with my vlogs of Carnival Glory. I'm excited about that ship. It just goes to show that even though some ships may be a little bit older, you can still have a great time. Thank you, Shay's Adventures, for coming on. Happy Monday. And so Carnival Glory is going to come out. I'm starting this Friday and start looking out for those vlogs. I am going to show you my experience and on this cruise ship. And so today we have an exciting guest. I'm excited about this guest today. So this month I'm kind of going to feature Carnival. I'm not only coming out with the vlog for Carnival Glory next week. So this today we have an individual right from Carnival, and we are going to speak all things Carnival. And then next week I am going to have another content creator by the name of Carnival Cruise Addicts, and they obviously love Carnival. And so I'm going to speak to them along the lines of what they feel about Carnival, how they love Carnival. If you're seeing this, I want you to pose your questions. I want you to ask questions. If my guest can answer it, he will answer it. If not, then he will let you know if he can't answer it. But pose some questions that you want to know about Carnival. We are going to have an open discussion. Thank you, Shades Adventures. Can't wait. I'll be on the Glory in February. Oh, great. So you get to see how it is. I did a room review. I just did different things on the ship, and it was a short cruise, but it was a great cruise. So we're gonna have Seth Grunes. He is a key account director with Carnival Cruise Line, and he is going to be able to tell us more about Carnival. I am a travel agent. Some of you may know or may not know, and so Seth is such a great individual to speak with along the lines of things I need to know about Carnival. Are they having any difficulties booking someone? So he's a great person to know. And so we are going to have him come on. So come on through, Seth. Show yourself. Hey, Seth, how are you?
Hey, good Paul. How's it going?
Good, good. Thank you so much for coming along this live. And so I'm waiting for this conversation. Thank you so much. First things first, just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do for Carnival, and then we can go forward from there.
Sure. So I've been at Carnival 18 years, pretty long time. You'll find that most people that work at Carnival, we do stay pretty long time. That just shows you
Uh-huh.
how much we love the company and what we do. I am originally from New Jersey, the Philadelphia area, and I went to college in Miami, and that's how I found out about this opportunity to come work for a cruise line. And I work with our travel advisors. So, like you said, you're a travel advisor. And one of my roles is to make sure that the travel agencies that I work with are up to date with everything going on with Carnival, what's happening, what's new, policy changes, deployments, like when we're moving ships around, and I do a lot of training, traveling around, socializing. So, my main thing is to hang out with travel agents and enjoy our cruises and our guests. And it's been 18 years that flew by, or cruised by, I should say.
So before working with Carnival, what was your first experience? Like, did you go on the cruise before, or did you come work for it and then you was able to be on one of their cruises?
So, if anybody out there watching remembers their first time cruising or the first time they thought
Yes.
about it, I was that same person. I thought, what are those big boats out there? Like, I don't really care. I drive by them in Miami and it doesn't interest me. So, one of my friends from college started working for the company and she kept telling me how great it was and how fun, and I still didn't care. I was like, nope, those are just big boats. Like, who cares? Who does that? It's boring. And then she had an opportunity to invite me on board for lunch, actually on the Carnival Valor. This was back in
Okay.
2006. Her
Okay.
her parents were going on a cruise, and so she said, "Hey, come have lunch with us on board before they leave." And I walked on that ship, and it was like, whoa, when you walk into those atriums where you have the glass elevators, and I was like, there's all this, there's casinos, there's restaurants, there's all this fun stuff to do.
Yeah.
Um, so a few months later, I was applying to work for Carnival and started in October of 2006.
If those coming now or in the pre-play, just know this is Seth Grunes. He's the key account director for Carnival, and we're having a conversation. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments so that he can have an opportunity to answer those questions. So my first experience was with Carnival.
Okay.
And so I did not know what to expect. So I did not want a long cruise. And so I did my first cruise with Carnival Victory, which is
Okay.
now Carnival Radiance
Right.
after they refurbished it and things of that nature. And so after that, I was kind of hooked. It was like a 3-day weekend cruise. It was so much fun. It was entertaining. It was just something I just didn't experience before. Before I've only done resorts and on land. And so this experience allowed me to do, I think we did Nassau and maybe their private island and or Nassau and Cosmo. I can't remember, but it was just like, wow, this was great. And I went with a friend. They enjoyed it, and it was just such a great time. And then I've been kind of hooked with cruising ever since to the point that people, if I do anything outside of cruising, people are kind of surprised. They're like,
Right.
"Oh, is that a cruise?" No, I'm going on a land vacation this time. It's a resort, you know. And so like people are so surprised because I'm so much into cruising after that one experience. So I know. So I'm glad that you enjoyed it and your first
Yeah.
experience was great as well.
It's
S
addicting. That's usually what happens. You go on and you're like, when are we booking the next one?
Exactly. And unfortunately, some people may not have the same experience, but I think maybe whatever they expected. I think I went open. And that's what the thing was. Like I didn't know what to expect. So I kind of went open with no reservations in advance and said, okay, let me see what this is about. I think nobody I knew was a cruiser like that. So I didn't have any negative connotations about cruising or what have you. I prepared. I got my little I think I had taken like some motion sickness just in case I had that and the motion sickness. So I was prepared going in advance. So I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to go for this experience. So I want to ask the question, somebody who's never cruised before, somebody who may not think about cruising, somebody who may have even been on another cruise line and never have been on Carnival. Why Carnival? Why would an individual choose Carnival maybe over other brands or just maybe for a first time cruising experience? Why would somebody choose Carnival? What does Carnival have to offer?
So that's a great question. I think the easiest answer is because we're fun. So everybody in the world deserves the right to have fun. Whether it's, taking a vacation from work or escaping from the kids or the in-laws or whoever it is.
Yeah.
Everybody deserves that right to have a good time and have fun. And Carnival delivers on that. It's what we've been doing for over 50 years. So I think with Carnival, we invite you to come be the best version of yourself, be who you are. Don't worry about all those other airs that, what if they don't like the way I'm dressed? What if they don't like my hair? Anything. You don't have to worry about that with
Yeah.
Carnival because we welcome everybody. So come as you are, be yourself. Obviously there are certain rules you have to follow, like attire. You can't just
Hmm.
walk around in a bikini all day. We do have cruise elegant evenings where we do encourage our guests to dress up a little bit nicer. Same thing with the dining room. You can't come in with like no shirt and a bathing suit to eat in the main dining room. But everywhere else, be your best version of yourself. Have a great time. Our guests are the people that, whether they like to be the center of attention and be
Hmm.
the ones having all the fun and everyone looking at them, or you're someone like me that likes to kind of sit on the outside line and watch everyone have fun,
Yeah.
you can do that. So
So you're
there's,
more introverted.
I wouldn't say I'm introverted, but I am not going to be the one on the stage dancing or
Got you.
volunteering to participate in everything. But it doesn't mean it's not fun, right?
Yeah.
So, um, but we have people from all walks of life, so different backgrounds, different incomes, different everything. And the great thing is they come together and they have a fantastic time on board.
So tell us about some of the things that they can expect, some of the entertainment, some of the things that, because yes, Carnival is known as the fun ship, and there's another cruise line that's trying to take that. We're more fun, I saw that as an article. So tell us about, yeah, exactly. So tell us about what they can expect going on a Carnival ship. Now, granted, the bigger ships may have more options than the smaller ships, but just a general in terms of like what to expect, even if they go to the bigger ships, the smaller ships, like just everything across the board.
Right. There's going to be variances like when you're going on a different itinerary, maybe to Alaska or Europe, it's going to be a little bit different than a 3 day Miami cruise, right?
Hmm.
But when you're on board with Carnival, you're going to have fun. Our people are going to smile. They're going to help you. They're going to learn your name. Um, you're going to have food everywhere you look. So you're not going
Yeah.
to go hungry at Carnival. So we have main dining rooms where you dine for free in that main dining room every evening if you choose to. We also have specialty restaurants. Or for our guests that like a little bit more casual dining experience, we have our Lido, which is where you have the buffet open till late in the evenings. So we've got all kinds of options. We've got room service, we've got soft serve ice cream and frozen yogurt, pizza. So plenty of food. You're not going to go hungry. There's also all kinds of activities going on throughout the day. So there's trivia, there's production shows with singing and dancing. Some of our ships have game shows, like we partnered with Family Feud and we do Family
Hmm.
Feud live. We have casinos on board. So for our guests that are 18 and older, if they want to play in the casino, we have the slot machines, we've got poker tables, we've got blackjack, we do tournaments, a lot of fun in the casinos. We have youth programs. So anybody worried about
Hmm.
children or traveling with children, we've got programs for the kids all the way up until 17. So from 2 to 17, basically. And they're divided into different groups. So the kids will have a lot to do. I said the main shows we have comedy. So if you like comedy, we have
Yeah.
stand-up comedy every evening. So a couple different shows. Some are R-rated, so those are adults only, and they're, in my opinion, funnier. All of our ships have a Serenity deck. So that's for our guests that are 21 and older, where they can go to escape from the kids.
For
A lot of the
free
ship for free
included. Hmm.
included. A lot of the ships now have a pool in that area too, so the adults get to be in that area with the pool, hot tubs, lounge chairs in the sun and in the shade. So there's so many things to do. I'm probably can't say it all right now, but there's a lot. You're not going to get bored. Clients do not get bored. Some of our guests tell us they just want to watch TV. So we have flat screen TVs, we have on-demand movies. Sometimes maybe the wife drags the husband along. He doesn't want to go on this vacation. He wants to watch news in the
Yeah.
stateroom. And great thing about Carnivals, he can do that if he wants to.
And
There's a
so
lot.
for the XL class trips, we have the first roller coaster at sea was on
Yes,
Carnival Mardi Gras, and now it's on Carnival Jubilee as well as Carnival Celebration.
that's right.
And so those are fan and then the waterworks. So
Oh yeah.
kid of all ages can go and just slide down the slide, this water bath, and so you can enjoy yourself on the Lido deck in these different type of ways. And so there's so much things that you can do. You can be, as he said, you can be as reserved as just go to trivia. Or you could do a waterworks, or depending on the ship, you can do a roller coaster, or what is the things on the
Skyride,
Vista class, the Sky Ride. Panorama has I think,
trampoline,
the trampolines and the
indoor
dodgeball.
trampoline, Sky Zone.
Yes, so that's on Carnival Panorama, and so
Right.
therefore, depending on the type of the ship, and there's so many different activities that you can do. And then if you just want to watch movies, a lot of the ships have like a big screen on the
Hmm.
Lido deck, right? So you could just watch movies. Sometimes they have concerts during Super Bowl time. They'll have the football shows, hockey, whatever it is, whatever is popular around the time, and so they'll have those. And then you'll have some ships. You'll have like lounges that you can go into. They have the sports bar,
Karaoke,
they
karaoke, yeah.
karaoke, the sports bars, and then so many different. And then I find when it comes to the specialty restaurants, I feel like Carnival is one of the most reasonable out of other cruise lines as well. I
Yeah,
think
we have we,
in terms of the Italian, it was like $24. I think I was looking at it for our next cruise for like a 3, 4 course menu. And so I think that even in that, it's more reasonable. And I love Serenity. I've used Serenity more than once. And to be able to get away, and sometimes when you go on some ships, like some things like Serenity would be for additional costs. And so to be able to have something where you could kind of get away, it's free, you could relax, some comfortable seats, chairs, and some cruise ships, depending on how bigger it is, as you said, may have a pool, different things on it. And so, like the Venezia class has the terrazza as well as if you're
right.
in those rooms. And so they have. I don't know, would you consider that? So a lot of cruise lines are moving towards the ship in a ship concept. So,
Right.
so would you consider, because there's not necessarily a main dining room like some other ships, but would you consider that for the Terrazza, for the Venetia, and Firenze as being kind of that concept? Are we going to see more of that in the future?
So I don't know about the future.
Uh,
They don't tell us all the secrets because they know we'll probably leak it out to everybody watching. So we find out kind of when you find out. But we do like that idea. So I will say, with the Venezia class, like you're saying, with the Venezia and the Carnival Firenze, and then on a lot of our other ships, we have experiences or what we call them. So we have like the Havana staterooms, which are themed after Havana,
hmm
Cuba, and they're very
Yeah.
tropical. They're in a specific part of the ship right next to the Havana bar. And the Havana bar experience actually has an outdoor space where only those guests booked into those Havana staterooms have
hmm
access to that outdoor lanai and bar and pool area. So we have that. We did the same thing with Family Harbor. So Family Harbor is on a lot of our newer ships. And this is an area on the lower part of the ship where the families can get together, have movie night, game night, things like that. And there's special staterooms just in that class as well, so that anybody in those rooms can go in and out of that Family Harbor lounge. I didn't mention the spa, but that was in my head while you were speaking. Is we
Okay.
have spas and fitness centers, right? So like anybody concerned about eating too much, like you have a gym right there, so you can work out, never miss a beat on your workout program or anything. Or if it's your first time trying to work out, we can help you out with that. So we've got specialty spa staterooms as well on a lot of ships. So the Cloud9 Spa, so they have priority appointments, priority reservations. But the most exclusive, probably experience for specific staterooms is going to be on our Excel class, as you know. So with the
Yes.
Mardi Gras, Carnival Celebration, and Carnival Jubilee, we have our Excel class suites. So there's 32 different suites in 4 different categories. So we've got the presidential suites, we've got the aft corner suites, the forward suites, and then we also have some suites scattered throughout the ship. But the guests in those suites have access to Loft 19, which
Mm.
is a new area on deck 19 that has like an infinity pool, cabanas that could be rented, beautiful lounge chairs right there in the front of the ship. So the guests in those suites have access to Loft 19. So that's kind of an exclusivity. We know the guests like that, right? They like
Yeah.
to feel a little bit like they have a place to go that's away from everybody else. So we are starting to see more of that.
Okay, that's so great. So, next question. So let me know. Let's debunk some of the common misconceptions people may have about Carnival, and you could say either Carnival or cruising in general. So some of the common misconceptions people may have about Carnival. Let's
Oh my
debunk some
gosh.
of those myths.
There's so many that I've heard over the years. So like let's say the first one is like, well, I don't want to go on a cruise because um I can't swim, right? So a lot of
Okay.
people say that, right? But you don't have to swim. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about swimming unless you go inside the pool or you're going to the beach. So when you're on the cruise ship, you're not going to be swimming anywhere, right? So
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about that. Our
I
ships are
think
like
they're
floating on.
fearful of drowning, or like
You're not going to
something
drown in your
something happens and
stateroom. Yeah,
something
no.
happens to the ship that, oh, I can't swim. God forbid something happens.
No, and safety is actually our number one concern and our priority. So safety
Yeah.
of our guests, our crew, and the people of the destinations we visit, like that's our top priority. So we have a lot of safety briefings. We have
hmm
it showing on the TV. We've got lifeboat, like so. There's no worry about safety. Um, but sorry, what I got off track there for a second. But there's what was the last? Oh, the misconception. So that they can't swim, so you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about that.
hmm
Um, Another one is, they've seen the Titanic and they don't want to go into an iceberg and sink. So the great thing is most of our cruises operate in the Caribbean and there are no icebergs in the Caribbean. It's way too hot. So you
Yeah.
don't have to worry about that. Another misconception over the years I've heard is that Carnival's just for young people. It's not for me. It's only for young people. It's actually not true. The average age of our guests is about closer to 49 years old now.
Okay.
And we are a family cruise line. So we have families, multi generations. We've got people celebrating their 100th birthday with us. We have people that bring their babies on board, toddlers, teenagers. We have weddings. We have renewal of vows. We have 50th anniversary celebrations on board. So it's not just for young people. That's why we have the youth programs. And on the other side of this equation, if you have people that are kind of like, well, I don't want to be around all the young people, the great thing is that they're going to be in the youth programs and there's the
That's
adults
right.
only areas, the Loft 19, all those things that we mentioned. So that's another myth we've heard. We also hear, Carnival has a lot of parties and I don't want
hmm
to be around all the parties. We have parties on board. So we have themed parties that only take place on scheduled scheduled days. So there's like an 80s night. We have a white party on some of our ships. We've got like a Mardi Gras theme party, the Venetian party on the
Hmm.
Venezia. So those are scheduled and themed. So it's not just like get on the ship and party, party, party. We actually don't encourage that. So we are a family brand, as I mentioned. So we want to make sure everyone's having a good time. So that's another myth. I don't think we have the myth anymore that Carnival's just for old people because cruising has changed a lot over the past
Yes,
50 years.
exactly.
Um, yeah, those are just some of the few that we hear.
And so when it comes to like party ship, I always say like you can engage as much as you want to. Like so, like as you said, like the so there's the embarkation day. So you're gonna have the sail away party. Depending on the ship, the parties at night will differ. So whether it's the 80s, the 90s, the neon party, whatever. Like so those are at night. So if you want to just chill in the middle of the ship, or early in the day, just decide to just go to Serenity as an adult or what have you. There's so much other things you can do without necessarily getting engaged in parties if you don't want to. And so usually the parties is really late at night after the last production show. Sometimes there may be a party in like the Motown party, which I love, which will be like in the atrium area, and so people just get involved and dance and
Right.
sing and
People
they
love it.
compete. Yeah, people love it. But like if you want to just do the production show and just say, okay, I'm done for the night, is you make your vacation, I think, as much as you want.
That's
But
right.
if you want to be like, for example, the first time I went cruising, I felt like I was open, and so I wanted to see like, okay, what is going on? I was doing the trivia, I was doing I was being in the parties, I was just doing all these different things, because I want to be a part of what it is, because it was the first time cruising. Next time you go, maybe there's another time that I just want to chill. Just you have the option, you could
Hmm.
just relax.
Yeah.
Um,
Like there's the spa classes. Sometimes I go to those just to see what they're about, or the art auction that we have, or the debarkation talk, or the shopping specialist. Like sometimes it's fun to just go to that. You're never gonna see me in a crowd of people,
yeah,
usually. I have to say usually, because I don't go to those all those events all the time. And being with Carnival 18 years, I do know where to go to find the quiet space. We've
yeah,
got libraries, we've got library bars on some
oh
ships,
yeah.
so there's plenty of places for everyone to hang out and have a good time.
Yeah, and at the extreme, if you want to go like late night, there's still the clubs,
Hmm.
and then you could just party all night long and stuff like that. And so I have a question, and that was a great question. Thank you, Big Murph Adventures, for that question, because that was one of the questions I was going to pose. But I want to go over what to expect from Carnival in the future. And then I'm going to field some questions and then play off of maybe what you have to say. So, what to expect from Carnival in the future? We've heard the myths about, new Excel class coming up,
Yep,
and then a new class of ships. So, kind of like
correct.
give us like what to expect. I was in a training, where they talked about, or I think I saw it online, and it was Carnival, and they were talking about how even the private island is going to be changed. Half Moon Cay is going to have like another pier and stuff like that. So let's
Yeah.
let's go over all of these things, what to
Yeah,
expect, and
that's a
then I'm
lot.
gonna field some questions.
That's a
Yeah,
lot for
come
you.
on,
And
come
I'm
on
like
with
looking at squirrels, right?
it.
So there's a lot coming, and there's a lot that like I mentioned before, I don't know about, and they won't
Okay,
tell us. We
yeah,
do know there are two more Excel ships coming in 2027 and 2029. Don't know the names of them, don't know the themes, don't even know where they're going to be going. But
yeah,
so we will have five of those ships. The most recent thing that's happening is our P&O Australia brand has been closed.
yes,
So we're
mm-hmm,
absorbing their ships and they're moving into Carnival Australia. So we have three ships coming from P&O Australia, which is, slightly smaller ships. And then one of them is going to be leaving. So we'll have two of their ships, but they're going to be staying in Australia year round. So unless you're going down there, you're probably not going to see those ships. We have the 2XL class coming. Then we have three new ships of a brand new class that we've heard the name Ace class, and
Ace,
that's
okay,
really all we know. We know they're going to be bigger than Excel class. There's going to be three of them, but that's all I know. So
okay.
don't know when. I mean, we know when they're coming: 2029, 2031, and 2033. But again, don't know where they're going, itineraries, layout. We don't know any of the features of these ships. And trust me, we all want to know just as bad as everyone else out there.
At least we have
Um,
Ace. At least we have Ace class. Okay,
Ace
so we know
class.
the
We
class.
found that name. That was in our vice president of worldwide sales, who oversees everything related to travel advisors all around the
Okay,
world. he was on a call with Josh Weinstein, who's our CEO, and he dropped that name, Ace Class. So
Ace class. All right, that's more than I knew. Okay, that's
so
great.
okay, so we're looking forward to that. And as you mentioned, destination. So you mentioned the private island that we share with Holland America. It's a Carnival Corporation port in the Bahamas. So yes, a pier is going to be built there. I'm not sure when it's going to start or when it'll be completed, but we are building an actual dock there so that the ships are no longer tendering or kind
Yeah,
of floating and anchoring at sea and having to take the little water shuttles or tender boats ashore.
yeah.
So that is coming. And then
You
if
know
you
when
have
that'll be coming by?
I don't know when that's supposed to start.
Okay,
No,
okay.
I don't know the
Oh,
exact
but it's
date
coming.
because
Okay,
sometimes the dates get pushed out, and
got you,
the pandemic affected a lot of things too, but it
got you.
is happening. Um, and then the other thing is that you can see behind me, if you're seeing my background, I'm not sure, but this is Celebration Key. So this is what we're most excited about, and that is opening in July of 2025. So that will be here before you know it. So I will say, if you haven't booked your cruise to Celebration Key on Carnival, you should do it now because they are filling up. Everybody wants to go here. And this is on Grand Bahama Island. So if you've ever been to Freeport or you heard of Freeport,
Yes.
Bahamas, this is basically the same place, just a little bit further north on the island. So it's over 300 acres of space that we purchased and are developing. But in this first phase, we're only working on 65 acres. And that's what you see behind me. So there's this large freshwater lagoon. It's the largest in the Caribbean, right there against the Caribbean Sea or the Atlantic Ocean. And we will be able to have four of our largest ships dock there at a time. So the
Wow.
first phase is going to be a dock that will accommodate two ships. And then in 2026, they're going to build that second berth so that we'll have up to two more ships. Probably won't ever have all four at the same time because it will be really crowded, but
Yeah.
we could. So Celebration Key is on Grand Bahama Island, opening in July 2025. Largest freshwater lagoons, five portals. So there's going to be a welcome portal as you walk through. I don't know if you can see it behind me, if you can see my mouse or not, but there's a sun
Yeah.
castle with water slides. So you come through, that's Paradise Plaza. Then we have Calypso Lagoon, which is off to this other side. That's our adult friendly portal. So that's where the families can hang out if they choose to. There's also some swim up bars. There's an adults only area of Calypso Lagoon. All of these areas have beach access as well. Then on the other side, so when you walk off and go to the right over here, this would be Starfish Lagoon. So this is family friendly. There's a
Okay.
splash park called Guppy's Grotto. There's areas like a wading pool for the kids. And then there's going to be food trucks, restaurants, an ice cream shop in Paradise Plaza. We also have Locono Cove, which is kind of right behind me. That's going to be our retail where you'll find all the Bahamian arts and crafts. You can go shopping, have some food as well,
Yeah.
or that's where you can leave if you want to go do a shore excursion somewhere else on the island. And then we also have probably my favorite is going to be the Pearl Cove Beach Club, which is adult
Yes.
only.
Already booked.
You did? Okay, good.
Yeah.
18 and up.
Yeah.
And there's going to be an infinity pool there, of course, a beach access, bars, restaurants. So five portals, and we're super excited about this. And that's just the first phase of what we're doing with Celebration Key.
I know it's going to be massive. I thought this was it, and then I was on some training, and then you said this was only the first phase. I was like, wow, this
Yeah.
sounds massive that as is. And so I am booked. I don't know anybody else is booked. I am booked for July 2025. I'm trying to get on the first sailing unless they put other sailings before it. And so I am looking forward to see Celebration Key. And so I'm going to fill some questions. And
Okay.
so one of the questions, and I want to ask this too. And so the Big Murph Adventure says, not sure if he knows the answers, but with the new ships that are being built, are because there's so many solo cruisers that are coming on cruise ships now, and some other cruise lines may be catering to solo cruisers. So he said, with the new ships that are being built, are there any talks about having solo cabins for solo cruisers?
I have not heard any talk about that. It does come up a lot. A lot of people
Uh-huh.
ask me because we do know there's a demand for solo cruising out there, but I can't say no because I don't know what's happening with these new ships. Um, but that question does come up a lot, and if you follow a lot of Carnival stuff, they talk about the beards. I guess I'm one of them, but I'm not really one of them. They make these decisions, and so I'm not sure if they're reviewing it, but
Hopefully, yeah.
it is known that people ask for solo cabins.
Because I
But
because I do solo cruising quite a bit, so sometimes to pay up double occupancy can be a lot depending
a
on like
lot.
Yeah, especially if it's a newer ship, it's a longer ship, and so that'd be great if they do consider it. Thank you, for your favorite couple, for coming on. Thank you, Lanisha Marie. He said, "I'm a little late. Do you have to have a certain cabin type to access Serenity? It's or is it open to any adults? I know it, but I want that you could answer
Oh,
that."
shaking my head. Nope, you can be in whatever cabin you like. Serenity is complimentary. So you just have to be 21 or older.
Yeah, exactly. So no kids should be in there, and somebody should be there to kind of like escort them out. It shall be sometimes depending on the ship, it may be close to the waterworks. So there may be kind of kids maybe in close proximity, but actually to go in, sit down, there should be no kids running around. And if there are, I think I would just report it so that they can kind of escort them out.
Oh, yeah, we police that. And so on some of the ships you're mentioning, I know like on the fantasy class, which is Carnival Paradise and Carnival
They're
Elation,
lower,
the
right?
the waterworks is like two decks above, so you can like look over. But when you're cruising and you have the wind and everything, you don't hear much besides
Yeah.
what you're doing where you are.
Yeah, so some class ships, and they may not be in the Lido, but I've seen where Serenity was like maybe on one of the lower decks and the back of the ship, or something of that nature, like right connected to maybe like a lounge or something of that nature. So different places, but
Yes.
it's a great place to go. If you've never been on there, just and some of the newer ships, it just looks so great. Some of the newer ships also like the Excel class, right? They have like a salad bar. And so
Mhm.
on sea days, you can go up there and just have a salad and just relax. There's a bar up there in general, so you can go in there just have like your drinks as well and just stay up there and then just enjoy yourself for the time being. My experience is not so much that people just get there early so that if you want to be able to stay there long, not saying put your towel on there because that is really frowned upon, but if you want to stay there any length of time, just get there early so you can kind of like just relax as long as you want, and then leave and just get caught up in the other festivities. And so that's what it is.
And you know what else is really cool? Like when you're saying the bar and the salad, like a lot of our ships, you can go into your hub app and order pizza to be delivered to wherever you are on the ship. So if you're hungry and you don't want to get up from where you are, you just order pizza. It's like $6 a person, and they bring it right to you.
Yes. So tell us about some of your, do you know, like, can you talk about some of the packages you have, whether it's not so much price, but what's available in terms of drink packages, Wi-Fi packages, and what have you, so people can know like what's available for them, because people want to be able to know about the drink packages, they want to know about the Wi-Fi's, whether you can do streaming. So what can you tell me about that?
Yeah, we do have Wi-Fi on board all of the ships from bow to stern, so it's pretty good. It's come a long way from when it first came out. We have new satellite that we're linking to, so the Wi-Fi is pretty fast, especially on the newer ships. And there's three packages. So there's like the social media package where you just have access to Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, which you can still use those messaging
Hmm.
capabilities if you're messaging with friends and family back home. WhatsApp works with that too. iMessage, if you have an Apple product. And then we have the premium. We have two other products there too, so it's a little bit faster speeds, higher bandwidth. We don't really uh, allow video calling. I have seen some people do it before, but it shouldn't be able to work because it eats up all the bandwidth. So not for streaming Netflix or anything like that either. But it's used for surfing the web, checking email, things like that. So a lot of people continue to work while they're on board with us. So we have three packages. There are different prices, which I don't have on the top of my head
Okay.
right
Yeah,
now,
we don't.
but
Yeah.
but but I will say you do get a slight discount per day if you book your Wi-Fi package or your drink package in advance. So if you book that before you get on the ship, it's a few dollars less per day, about $5 less per day. So that's something I encourage. Like if you think you're going to want to do it, book it. You can go into carnival.com into your cruise manager and just purchase it. Um, that's internet. Then drink packages. We do have drink packages. We have soda package, bottomless bubbles, which the
Hmm.
price varies by day and also by age. And then we have the Cheers, which is our drink package, which includes up to 15 alcoholic beverages per day. It also covers like specialty coffees, juices, teas, things like that that would have a cost as well, and soda, of course. So that's all included. You get discounts off of bottles of wine, bottles of water, like the large ones. So we do have drink packages available as well. Our drink packages do not work off the ship. So
Hmm.
even in our private islands or during charters, they don't work off the ship. Um, so we do have those packages available. There's a lot of stuff that you can pre-purchase and register for before your cruise, like your spa appointments, specialty
Hmm.
dining. You can register the kids for the youth program. You can book shore excursions in advance. I usually recommend that as well if you're doing one of our shore excursions or shore tours, because a lot of them that are popular will fill up. So if you are anxious and want to make sure you have something to do in the ports, I would recommend booking something in advance. Otherwise, you're at the whim of what's available when you get there or what's not available. So it all
Now,
depends.
before I go into the VIFP program, I'm going to talk to you.
Yes.
I'm going to ask about that so people can know about the loyalty program and how it works. So, did you hear anything about any changes to the drink packages? Like, are they adding something? Are they going to add? Because so one of the things I like, and I'm not going to say the other cruise brand, but there is a non-alcoholic package. So it gives you the sodas, but it also gives you um like a virgin pina colada without it being alcoholic, and then it can give you maybe the coffee. So somewhere in between, like a in between, like the soda and the alcoholic package. You hear anything like maybe adding something like that in the future?
Like, yeah, so like I said, I have to say never. Don't know. But
Got you,
as of
got
right
you.
now, it's just the non like the soda package, the bottomless bubbles,
And then it goes to the alcoholic. Yeah.
and then cheers. And then the other thing is with cheers, there's no sharing. So everybody in the stateroom that's 21 or older must purchase cheers. We don't make exceptions. It sounds wild, but it's true because we hear a lot of stories. Like somebody will say, my wife's pregnant, she's not drinking, but then on the ship, she's drinking because she's not pregnant.
Yeah.
So it's sad that people do that, but so we are very strict with that. Something we have to be very mindful of. So
So that's the reason why everybody in the cabin has to have it because people play games like that. So
yes,
they say, "Oh yeah,
and we're
I
not the
don't
only
drink. I
one.
never drink and stuff like that." And next thing, they're drinking. Okay,
Right.
got you.
And we're not the only ones that we know that we pay attention to what's going on out there. So yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So you do have like a 15. So those people who love to drink, so the max is 15 drinks a day
Alcohol.
of alcohol,
Yeah.
and
We're
so
not going
on
to
the.
cut you off if you want 15 coffees. I mean, you might be a little woo, but we're not going to cut you off.
You may be a little wired, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
We
and
don't cut you
then
off.
and then I think there's like a 5 minute wait between one for the next.
Yeah, a lot of times we'll do that too because people will take it and try to give it to somebody else or
Yeah.
so the
Okay.
ship is trained on all their procedures. Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's talk about the loyalty program of Carnival. How does the loyalty program work? How do you get to another tier? So I'm overhearing. So I think John Hill was saying that they were looking into probably adding another category. So I'm waiting for them to make that announcement. Somebody saying maybe one category will be Pearl or what have you. And so 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 just tell us if you know of any changes and just tell us like how the loyalty program works. So somebody coming on board knows like, okay, what they have to do to get to the next level as a loyalty member in Carnival.
Yeah, so I think you're gonna notice a trend. Like when you ask about is anything changing, anything coming, I'm gonna keep saying no because I really do not know. Like you
Got
can
you,
ask
got
my boss, we don't know. We're always like, whoa, that's really cool. That's why you said Pearl. I was like, oh, that would be cool, but I
you.
don't
Yeah.
know anything. Um, so I don't know if anything's gonna change. And that man, John Heald, he likes to leak things out sometimes that maybe aren't
Okay.
supposed to come out yet, or we don't know about, or maybe it's inaccurate. I don't know. But he's been with Carnival like I think since we started. So
Yeah.
he knows a lot. He's been on every ship. He knows every single person I think that works for Carnival. But with our VIFP, that is our very important fun person. So it's basically our past guest loyalty program. And the way it works is pretty easy. All you have to do is cruise. So when you cruise,
Yeah.
every day that you cruise with us, you're accumulating points, which are based on the number of days that you travel. So like a
Hmm.
3 day cruise, you get 3 points. So once you have 25 points or more, you graduate from your first level, which is the blue card, and we love that because when we see blue cards on board, it means these
A
are
new
first time
cruiser.
cruisers or first
Yeah.
time to Carnival.
Hmm.
Not all the time. Sometimes they forget to put their VIFP number when they book and they start all over again. But in
Yeah.
most cases, that blue card is like, oh, look at these new people, so cute. So we got the blue, um, and then when you're 24 or more, actually, it's the red level. So you're red
Hmm.
until 25, then you become gold. Then after 74 days, so when you're on your 75th day, you're platinum. Then platinum is where it's a big stretch. You have to go all the way up to 199 days. Then once
Mm,
you hit 200 days, you become diamond.
yeah,
And so with all of these different levels, there's different perks. So when you start to get up to the higher levels, you might get a complimentary beverage one time during the cruise. You might get complimentary laundry one time, confirmed steakhouse or specialty dining reservations and things like that. Party debarkation, embarkation, there's a lot of different perks, and you can see all that on our website when you look at the
yeah.
VIP program, or hopefully they contact you, Paul, and you can tell them all about it too.
Yes, that's right. And
But
book your
yeah,
next great vacation.
and then the other thing is with that VIFP number, we offer discounts for future cruises. So like if
That's
you
right.
cruise a lot with us or you played in the casino, you'll get special offers that someone who's traveled with you or maybe hasn't traveled in a while is not getting that same offer. So we have teams in our marketing department and they don't look at the specific person and be like, "Oh, that's Paul Bromfield, let's give him this offer." No, they look at metrics like who is this Carnival user? How many times have they sailed? What level are they? How much do they spend on board? Do they play in the casino? Do they buy alcohol? And maybe Paul hasn't sailed with us in 6 years. And it's like, you know
Hmm.
what? This guy used to travel with us a lot and he hasn't. Let's send him an offer. Maybe we're going to give him on reduced deposit, upgrade, onboard credit. And maybe we'll even have an offer where he can get cheers included for a little
Yeah.
bit less than if he were to just book the cruise and buy cheers.
So
So,
entice them to come back.
mhm. So we have a lot
Okay.
of different ways to use the VIFP perks and benefits for our guests.
Okay, cool. So I don't see any other questions, but any other questions going forward before I let Seth go? Ask your questions now in the comments. And so one of the things then, so we talked about is what we would love to see. Obviously, you don't have no control over that, is solo cabins, solo rates, something of that nature. One of the things that I like from your fellow luxury brand Princess is that they doubled the amount of cruises for travelers.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so I get to even after the training, there's a certain like thing you get as a travel agent. They give you into a certain category, but you go into if you're a solo travel, they double the amount of cruises, so you get to a higher status quicker, which I think is good. Still have to pay the double occupancy rate, but I get at least more credit towards my next
Okay.
level. Yeah, so I think that would be something good. And then
Sometimes we borrow from our sisters, so you never know.
because you know why, John Hell, just another thing, John Hell was talking about if we like, he was asking the question one time, it's been a while, if we like our key cards or we would like something like a medallion, which Princess has. So it's like, do you like the key cards or would you like, he just posed it out there. So I'm kind of thinking like maybe they're mulling around that idea of possibly doing something where you don't have to, and the key card technology allows you to medallion technology allows you to just kind of like, get close to the door, open the door. So when you have that late night pizza and all this stuff in your hand, you could,
You just open them with your hand or your necklace
yeah,
or
yeah. So it opens the door as you get close, and you just kind of prop it open. So if there's any other questions now or going forward, you can ask me. If I don't know it myself, I will ask Seth so that he can ask the question. Thank you so much for everyone coming now or in the replay. Thank you, Seth, so much for coming along and answering these questions and having a
oh yeah.
conversation about one of my favorite cruise brands, Carnival Cruise Line. So let me see. What's Carnival's stance on Mexico and the immigration tax per cruise they are passing? I don't think you could answer that.
No, so that just came out this week, or
Okay,
like
I
over the
didn't I didn't hear
weekend.
about it. Okay.
It's just very recent. So I mean, whatever the rules are, we have to follow the rules. So if there's a tariff or a tax that has to be implemented, we will have to do that. So right now it's like $24 or $42 per person, I think it is. Um, I did see an article that cruise lines are not or that have until July, I think, before that's
Okay.
implemented. But
Uh-huh.
if it's something that the country of Mexico implements and we're visiting there, then we would have to pass that along in our taxes and fees.
Okay, yeah. So I thought I saw. So I think I know what he's talking about because I didn't read the whole articles that maybe some cruise lines may be kind of like trying to move away from even changing the itineraries to Mexico to kind of like alleviate those fees. But I don't know if you can actually do that all the time. There's a lot of cruises that do do Cozumel, so like it would be, or then the
Cabo San
Western
Lucas, yeah, we that's all
the
we
one
do for the West Coast.
yeah, the West Coast. Yeah, that's all they do those Puerto Vallarta, Cabo, and they're even adding another port.
Ensenada. Well, Ensenada, every single cruise goes to Ensenada from California, in most cases, unless it's going to Alaska and goes to Canada. But
Yeah,
every single cruise goes to Ensenada. So there's no way to avoid that because we have to visit a foreign port of call when we're
yeah,
sailing from the US round trip.
exactly, because of
And
that law.
Cozumel,
Mm,
I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like Cozumel, I'm over it. Like I have differing opinions. I love Cozumel because every time I go, I do something different. Where I go to the
gotcha.
mainland, I go to the little parks, the nature areas where you can go on a little walk, the beach. I do everything every time I go there. But we go to Cozumel so much because it's so close to Florida and the Gulf
Yeah.
Coast. I was trying to see if I could pull up that email real quick while I'm in here, but I don't know if I'll get to it
Yeah,
in
so
time.
unfortunately, it seems like it's just going to be a part of the port fees and taxes included to pass it on onto the onto the guests. I guess the only option is like if you decide not to go on a cruise that has a Mexican port if you've been there before. But I
Mhm.
know that I one of my favorite cruises was that Mexican Riviera where I did Cabo, where I did Mazatlan, where I did Puerto Vallarta. That was one of my favorite cruises to do. And then I think I saw in the future they're adding on that their itinerary La Paz, which is another place which I've never been to. I think it's
I
La
haven't been there.
Paz, if I'm saying it right. And so it just would be something additional cost for cruising
Mhm.
that can't help. Carnival can't help it, or
Right.
yeah.
Nobody, yeah, it's part of if that's where we're traveling, we have to follow their
Hi
rules.
Sig, thank you for coming on. So okay, you said you brought up the email.
No, I didn't. I can't find it.
Okay, okay. And so, as I said, if you have any more questions about anything right now or going on in the future, let's just pose your questions in the comments. And so, therefore, I can answer them if I know them, or I will field them to Seth so that he can answer them as best as he can. And so, thank you so much for coming on, Seth. I appreciate it. It was a great conversation about Carnival. And so, hopefully, all those that are on or in the replay, you got better perspectives of Carnival. You see it differently. You know what is coming. And so, therefore, if you've never tried Carnival, try it for yourself. Be open. With an open mindset, not of anything you've heard before. Just be open to what you may have to say. And I've always done a 3-day cruise as my first experience. Sometimes for a cruise line, maybe do a 3-day cruise, or maybe do if you just want to be able to get the full gambit, do a 7-day, do a newer ship. If you're a person that love big ships, the XL class ships are massive. Outside of the XL class ships, one of my favorite ships are the Vista classes. And I loved Horizon. I loved Panorama. Panorama is a great ship. I'm out of California. Maybe get in. So this is the perfect time. I'm glad you said that, Big Berth Adventures. If you This is the perfect time before that tariff goes into play. I think Seth said July 2025. Maybe book a trip from California on Carnival Panorama going to the Mexican Riviera. So it will be a little cheaper, less port expenses, so that you can experience not only Carnival. Some people have never sailed out of the West Coast. I've done it more than once. You've never sailed out of California. Why not try it out and check it out for yourself, and then try to do that itinerary? Since get in before the prices go up. That's all I'm trying to say. Get
Yeah,
in there. I
that's
think a lot of cruises like to do that before the Wi-Fi goes up, before all these things they go up. You purchased it before. Get in before the prices go up a little bit,
and
right?
that's kind of like the way of the world these days, right? Like you never know if
Yeah.
price is gonna rise for anything, so you might as well just do it while you can because life is short. So take the
Yes.
trip. And I would say when people are like, "How do I book that cruise?" or "How should I book it?" I'm always gonna say book with your travel agent. And since we're here with you, they should be booking with you,
Book
Paul.
with me.
Yeah, he can help you. He seems to know a lot. right? So a lot
Yes.
of information about all the cruise lines, not just Carnival. So Paul's been around, he's been on the cruises, so he knows what he's talking about. So just if you have any questions, ask him.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I'm gonna let this busy man go.
Thank you.
And so, as I said, I will answer. Just leave any questions you have in the replay in the comments. And thank you for coming and being a part of this conversation. Until next time, happy travels.